So this is 2017 paper 1, and this is question 7. So here we have the first 3 patterns in a sequence of patterns of tiles are shown in the diagram below. So here we can see that it is 2, and then we have 3, and then here we have 3, and then here we have 4, then here we have 4, and then here we have 5. So draw the next pattern of tiles on the diagram above. So the next pattern then is obviously going to have 6 across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So try and use a ruler and draw this as best you can, and then you would expect to have 5 going down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now use a ruler as best as you can. And that's your next one. Just make sure that you have it counted correctly. Make sure you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that gives you 5 marks. Just use a ruler. Make sure it's symmetrical as best as you can. For part B, based on the pattern shown, complete the table below. So what we're going to do is just count how many tiles we saw in each one. So the first one had 5, the next one had 8, the next one had 11, and then we had 14, and then we had 17. So that will give you 5 marks for this question. For part C, assuming the pattern continues, the number of tiles in the nth pattern of the sequence is given by the formula of Tn is equal to Pn plus Q, where P and Q are natural numbers. Find the value of P and find the value of Q. So they're asking you to find the formula where it says Tn. That's the general term-to-term formula. So you go to your formula tables, you write down the term-to-term formula, and it's A plus n minus 1 by d. So A is your first term, so A here is 5, and d is your common difference. Sorry, that should be d. So d is your common difference. So I can see that here there's a difference of 3, difference of 3, difference of 3, difference of 3. So my difference here is 3. And all I have to do now is sub it in. So I now have 5 plus n minus 1 stays part of the formula. D is your difference. Then I have 5 plus 3 times n, which is 3n, and then 3 times minus 1, which is minus 3. And then I just simplify it, write your n's first, is the general rule. So we have 3n, and then 5 minus 3 here is 2, so that's 3n plus 2. So if that's your rule there, and you can see that here they have Pn plus Q. So you can see that P is going to be the value in front of n. So you can say that P is equal to 3, and then Q is your constant, and it's a plus 2, so 2. So that gives you 10 marks just for doing part C there. Okay, so for part 2 here, we're asked how many tiles are in the 20th pattern. Well, that means that they're looking for term 20. So we know that the rule is 3n plus 2 from the previous part. So what I'm going to do is find T20. So I'm going to put in 3 times 20 for n, and then I'm going to add 2. 3 times 20 is 60, add 2 is 62. So you would expect to have 62 tiles. That's a 5-mark question. Find which pattern has exactly 290 tiles. So they're asking you to find n. So you need your formula or your rule, and your rule is 3n plus 2. That was your term-to-term rule. So we want to make that equal to 290 because we know that when we put in an answer in for n, we come out with an answer of 290. So we're trying to find n, so we solve it. So 3n is equal to 290 minus 2. So that means that 3n is equal to 288 And then all we have to do, if it's 3 times the number gives me 288, divide 288 by 3, and that will give you your value of n. So n is 96, so it's your 96th term. If you want to check that answer, put into your formula of 3n plus 2, so 3 times 96, add 2, and you should come out with an answer of 290. So that question there is worth 5 marks. For part D, so you want to show this answer, is a formula of the total number of tiles needed to build the first n patterns. So this is an arithmetic series. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write down the formula. So S of n is equal to n over 2 by 2a plus n minus 1 times d. So let's see what I can fill into my formula. So n remains part of the formula. We have to figure out, based on the question that we are looking at, can we find the value of a? Well, we found that a in the previous question on part 1 of C. We had a was 5 because your first term is 5. Then n minus 1 remains part of the formula, and you saw that your sequence was going up in 3, so 3 goes in here. So you just keep working away, trying to see what you can simplify. So start working with the inside of your brackets. So 2 times 5 here is 10, and then here we need to expand. So 3 times n is 3n, and 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. So carry on simplifying here. So we have, so this time now we have n over 2, and then we have 10 plus 3n minus 3, so that will be 3n, and that will be plus 7. Okay, so that means that that's technically over 1. So what we need to do now is we can see that these are brackets, so we need to multiply. So I'm going to multiply n by 3n, which is 3n squared, n by 7, which is 7n, and then 2 by 1, which is 2. And that is your Sn for your sum arithmetic series formula. And just see if that's the same as in the question. And you can see that yes it is, so you've got 5 marks. For part 2, you're asked to find the total number of tiles needed to build the first 30 patterns. So we're trying to find the sum of the first 30. So your formula is, you can either use the one above, so you will know that the one above is 3 times n squared, which is 30 squared, plus 7 times n, which is 7 times 30, and then you put that all over 2. And what you should get there is an answer of 1,455 tiles. Or you could have just put into the formula, and you could have done it with the original formula, the sum of 30, where it's 30 over 2, bracket 2 times a, so 2 times 5, plus 30 minus 1 by the difference, which is 3, close your bracket, put that all into your calculator, comes out with 1,455 as well. So either or, you've got a choice from those two options there.